What's going on YouTube? This is a video I'm going to react to what his Future does with his money, how he's built up, his success. Go ahead and watch it. Let me know what you guys think.
You mind blessing his mic for me? You mind blessing his mic for me? What's going on, Future?
Future has quietly built an insane Texas empire. And on top of that, he owns an island. No, we're not talking about some little piece of land in the middle of nowhere. We're talking about a real private island with the kind of money, security, and exclusivity that most people only see in movies. And the crazy part? The world has barely scratched the surface of how deep this actually goes. While the world was busy streaming his music and watching him top the charts, Future was out here making moves that have nothing to do with the recording studio. We're talking real estate on a scale that will make your jaw drop. Businesses stacking income from every direction, a label empire growing year after year. And sitting at the center of it all, an island that put his name in a conversation most people never expected to see him in. We're about to break down exactly how Future built an empire this massive, what he actually owns, and why his wealth goes so much further than anything you've heard about before. Stay with us until the end, because by the time we're done, you're going to be looking at Future in a completely different way. Yo, what's good, fam? Welcome back. If you're new here, this is where we go deep on the biggest names in hip-hop, the money moves, the real estate, the business empires, everything the blogs don't fully break down. Today we're going all in on Future. Now before we get into this, let me keep it 100 with y'all. This ain't just a story about a rapper spending money. This is a story about a man from one of Atlanta's toughest neighborhoods who turned music into a multi-decade financial strategy and quietly became one of the wealthiest artists of his generation. By the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly why Future's name keeps coming up when people talk about real wealth in hip-hop. Let's get into it. Born Nayvadius Demoon Wilburn on November 20th, 1983, in Atlanta, Georgia, Future grew up in the Kirkwood neighborhood, an area that shaped his
Going just based off of that picture right there, you wouldn't think that's that dude who he is today, man. It's crazy where people start off at. It's amazing. I give props to Future.
perspective on life, hustle, and survival in ways that would later define everything about his artistry. From a young age, he was immersed in Atlanta's thriving hip-hop culture, connected through his cousin, legendary producer Rico Wade of Organized Noise, to a creative collective called the Dungeon Family, the same group that helped shape the careers of Outkast and Goody Mob. It was inside that world where young Nayvadius earned the nickname The Future, a name that would eventually carry him to the top of the music industry and beyond.
There was another rapper, a white guy, and had the name Future before him. And that white rapper, he swore that Future stole his damn name. He swore about that shit. Look it up when you get a chance.
His professional career began taking shape in the late 2000s and early 2010s when he was grinding through the Atlanta mixtape circuit, building a reputation block by block. Those early tapes, Dirty Sprite, True Story, and Streets Calling, established Future as a force in the Atlanta underground and caught the attention of the industry. In September 2011, he signed a recording contract with Roko's A1 Recordings, which entered a joint venture with Epic Records, giving Future the major label infrastructure he needed to take things to the next level. His debut studio album Pluto dropped in 2012, and from the moment it hit, it was clear this was an artist rewriting the rules of trap music. The auto-tuned melodies, the emotionally raw delivery, the way he blended singing and rapping into something entirely his own. Nobody sounded like Future, and the culture felt that immediately. Singles like Turn on the Lights and Neva N showed a dimension of vulnerability that trap music had not fully explored before. And that emotional authenticity is a big part of what built his dedicated fan base. From there, the trajectory was almost vertical. DS2 in 2015 became a defining moment for the genre, going platinum and cementing Future as one of the most important voices in modern hip-hop. Mixtapes.
Yeah, I remember DS2. That was a huge, big album for me. I remember that. People were talking about that album a lot. That was a big one.
Like Beast Mode with Zaytoven and 56 Nights with Southside further solidified his grip on the culture between album cycles. In 2017, he made history by releasing 2 solo #1 albums in the same week, a feat that had never been accomplished in Billboard chart history. His 2022 album, I Never Liked You, debuted at #1, and gave him the smash hit Wait For You, featuring Drake and Tems, which won Best Melodic Rap Performance at the 65th Grammy Awards. Then in 2024, he partnered with Metro Boomin to release We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You, both landing at #1, with the single Like That featuring Kendrick Lamar spending multiple weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. His 2024 mixtape Pluto then made him the first hip-hop artist in history to have 3 #1 projects in the same calendar year. As of 2026, Future holds the record for the most albums at #1 on the US Top Rap Albums chart, sitting at 16. 16. Let that sink in for a minute. According to multiple financial publications and industry estimates, Future's net worth as of 2026 sits somewhere between $50 and $65 million, with some
That's a lot of money, but I think he's worth way more than that, dude. Just been in the game for a long time. Should be up 100 mil plus.
projections going even higher as his catalog and business ventures continue appreciating in value. But here's the thing, the music is just the foundation. What Future built on top of that foundation is where the real story begins. And to understand the empire, you first have to understand the money machine that funded it. Now let's talk about how the income actually stacked up, because this is the part people overlook. Future has tens of billions of streams across platforms, and with royalty rates compounding year over year on a back catalog this size, that is consistent income that never stops, even when he's not actively releasing music. Industry sources estimate he earns millions annually from streaming alone across his body of work. Think about what that means in practice. Every time Mask Off plays in a movie trailer, every time Life is Good gets added to a new playlist, every time a fan discovers his catalog for the first time, royalties are accumulating. A catalog with 16 #1 albums isn't just a creative achievement. It's a financial engine that runs around the clock, whether Future is in the studio or on a beach somewhere. Then there's touring. Reports have cited him earning in the range of $1 million per show at his performance peak, a number backed up by the sheer scale of his runs. The We Trust You tour with Metro Boomin in 2024 was a full North American arena campaign, pulling massive crowds from Atlanta to Los Angeles and generating serious 8-figure revenue across the run. Future and Friends One Big Party Tour was another massive undertaking. This is an artist who has been a headline-worthy live act for over a decade, and that consistency on the road translates directly into compounding income year after year. Then there's the brand side. Future has worked with major companies including Reebok, Nike, Adidas, Rolex, and Atmoji, among others. These aren't one-time check deals. These are ongoing relationships with some of the most powerful consumer brands on the planet, and their value is directly tied to Future's cultural relevance. As long as he stays at the top of the charts, and he has, consistently for over 10 years, those deals keep renewing, and the terms keep improving. His Free Bands clothing line and the Dope Dollar Bills merchandise brand add a retail dimension on top of that, turning his personal aesthetic into a product generating income around the clock. When you add all of these channels together, what you're looking at is an artist who engineered multiple income streams flowing simultaneously. In that
That's what you gotta have. You gotta have the multiple income streams. Very important. These rappers, they get this money, they blow it on bullshit, man.
firepower is exactly what gave him the ability to start building an empire that goes far beyond music. But Future didn't just collect checks, he built infrastructure. And this is where the Texas Empire conversation really begins. Because when people talk about Future having a Texas-sized empire, they're not talking about square footage. They're talking about the scale of the business operation he has constructed behind the scenes. One that functions more like a corporation than a music career. It starts with Free Bands Entertainment. Future founded the label in 2011, the same year he signed his Epic Records deal, operating it under the business entity Wilburn Holding Co. Think about what that means strategically. While most artists are out here signing to major labels and handing over ownership in exchange for advances, Future was building his own house from day one. He was the landlord, he controlled the masters, he set the direction, and as Free Bands grew, it became more than just a vanity imprint. It became a real business with a roster, a global distribution infrastructure through Epic Records, and a revenue stream that operates entirely independent of Future solo output. Free Bands has launched and developed careers including Doughboy, DJ Esco, Real Boston Richie, Young Scooter, and Lil Double Zero. Every album those artists release generates income for the label. Every stream, every sync deal, every tour date, a percentage of all of that flows back into the free bands machine. The label.
And that's what you want, man. You want everything. You want to own your own masters, everything like that. You don't want someone else handling your money. But tell me what you guys think. Like and subscribe. I might do a part 2. Let me know if you guys like this type of content. See you guys. Peace out.